Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I want to share some highlights of the past year in our city and what a year it was, and also to take a brief look at 2021. Some of you might remember that just over a year ago, on February 29th, 2020, we opened the newest segment of the Cross Alameda Trail. It was a joyous celebration of an impressive achievement and the last community gathering hosted by the city. I miss those kinds of interactions, and I bet you do too. But we are so fortunate to have amenities like the Cross Alameda Trail and other wonderful open space and parks in our community that provide opportunities for well-needed exercise and relaxation during this pandemic. Projects like the Cross Alameda Trail and others I'll discuss are a credit to my City Council colleagues. So I want to take a moment to thank my current and former Council colleagues for their vision and commitment to our community and for their hard work addressing the opportunities and challenges we've faced over the past year. Many thanks to former Council Member Jim Odie, Vice Mayor Malia Vela, Council Members John Knox White, Tony Desog, and Trish Herrera Spencer. The City Council has important work to do, and I'm eager to continue working with you in service to our community in the coming years. 1 year ago, in March 2020, the City Council declared a local emergency and initiated Alameda's response to the global COVID-19 pandemic. Since then, we've taken many actions to help our residents and businesses stabilize and recover from the economic, psychological, and social impacts of the pandemic. For example, we established grant programs and a community fund called Alameda Strong to support tenants and landlords, small businesses, and nonprofit organizations, which has resulted in over $216,000 in relief to residents and small businesses. The Feed Alameda campaign has helped our restaurants stay in business while providing healthy meals to undernourished members of our community. Over 630 meals have been purchased and distributed so far, with 90 more going out today. And in true Alameda spirit, this program saw over 350 community members raise over $46,000 to make it happen. I want to thank our Community Development Department staff for their hard work to implement and administer these programs. And I want to thank our residents and the business community for the incredible generosity and altruism you've shown in supporting Alameda Strong and Feed Alameda. Another response to the pandemic was carried out by our planning, building, and transportation and public works staff, who, at the direction of the City Council, created slow streets in residential neighborhoods to help people maintain physical distance while walking and biking, as well as parklets and outdoor dining spaces to support local businesses. I am greatly impressed by how our departments across the organization came together to support the community through new and different service delivery models. Our library staff shifted story time to twice-a-day online presentations and offered online programs for adults, teens, and children, including crafts, meditation, book discussions, computer tutorials, and more. The main library now offers touchless curbside pickup, so library users can reserve and check out books and other materials, almost like the olden days. Our recreation and park staff immediately began offering virtual classes, at-home activity boxes for tots, virtual senior activities, family trivia nights, esports, and virtual community events. ARPD also managed a massive increase in park usage while addressing county health requirements. Overall, the pandemic showed us that parks contribute greatly to the physical and mental health of our community. Our human resources and finance departments kept our staff safe and are working hard to ensure we are managing our finances and other and resources. And our fire department expanded their role to include wellness checks and other COVID-19 related support services. Our information technology department supported a shift from many city staff to working remotely. This helped departments like planning and building process permit applications with an investment valuation of almost $300 million, a significant increase from the $180 million amount the prior year. During this challenging time, we've also strengthened our relationships with many community partners, including our business community, the Alameda Chamber of Commerce, led by Madeline Sadek, the Downtown Alameda Business Association and Executive Director Kathy Weber, West Alameda Business Association and Executive Director Linda Asbury, and also with our nonprofit and community partners, the Alameda Food Bank, Alameda Point Collaborative, Alameda Unified School District, Block by Block, Building Futures, Dine and Connect, Operation Dignity, and Village of Love. We've also worked closely with Alameda County Healthcare Services Agency, or HCSA, which includes the County Public Health Department, which oversees COVID-19 testing and contact tracing and vaccination sites, and compiles and shares data on COVID-19 case rates and deaths, vaccination numbers, and more. Sadly, although COVID-19 cases and deaths in Alameda were lower than many other Alameda County cities, we have unfortunately lost 87 community members to the coronavirus. But now, with vaccination efforts underway, HCSA data shows that almost 27% of Alameda residents over the age of 16 have received at least their first vaccination, and nearly 10% have been fully vaccinated at this time. Speaking of which, my mayor's COVID-19 vaccine task force has been up and running for over a month and is working hard to ensure that all eligible Alamedans receive their vaccinations. The task force is comprised of a dedicated group of community members focused on helping our most vulnerable residents, individuals aged 65 and older, overcome barriers to getting vaccinated, which include the digital divide. The task force will soon coordinate telephone outreach and a postcard mailing to senior households, offering assistance to anyone having difficulty scheduling their vaccines. Huge thanks to the task force members for donating your time and expertise to this important effort. Our community has also been deeply engaged on the topic of racial justice, sparked by the police killings of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and too many other Black Americans before and since, and the arrest of a Black Alameda resident who was dancing in the street. A community-led steering committee on policing and racial equity helped assemble 5 subcommittees whose reports will be presented to the City Council at our next council meeting on March 16th. The City Council looks forward to developing and implementing policies that address these important topics and also contemplate how to keep all members of our community safe. Special thanks to steering committee members Christine Chilcott, Al Mance, Cheryl Taylor, and Jolene Wright for their leadership, and to the dozens of community members who have served on the subcommittees. I also want to convey my appreciation to our police department, including Interim Police Chief Randy Fenn and Captains Matt McMullen and Jeffrey Emmett for their leadership and for contributing to the ongoing community conversation about the future of policing in Alameda. Other city priorities included addressing our housing crisis and helping to reduce homelessness. We opened a day center at Alameda Point where unsheltered individuals are assigned a caseworker who helps them find housing, employment, and job training, as well as medical and mental health care and substance abuse treatment. Day center visitors can also get something to eat, clean clothes, and the use of telephones, computers, and a mailing address, something so many of us just take for granted. In 2020, the Day Center provided services to 130 unsheltered individuals. We also created a dedicated safe parking area that provides overnight security and restroom facilities for individuals and families who live in their cars. Village of Love, a nonprofit organization, oversees the day center and safe parking area and provides a staffed van that makes contact with homeless individuals in the community and encourages them to make use of the resources offered at the day center and even offers them a ride to get them there. The city recently launched a 5-year homelessness strategic plan to reduce and prevent homelessness in Alameda. Please visit the city's website for more information and to learn how to get involved. We're continuing to advance our climate goals by implementing Alameda's Climate Action and Resiliency Plan to address sea level rise and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. We've recently increased funding for stormwater management and replaced vehicles in the city's fleet with low emission vehicles. We also adopted a Vision Zero policy to make our streets safer for all users, especially bicyclists and pedestrians, and eliminate traffic-related fatalities and serious injuries. Unfortunately, in the past year, we've seen an uptick in collisions involving pedestrians and cyclists, including the recent death of a cyclist who was struck by a car. The City Council is concerned about these occurrences and will continue implementing significant transportation network improvements and employing other tools to achieve Vision Zero's crucial goals. Redevelopment at Alameda Point continued in 2020, where $16 million of backbone infrastructure was completed, including things like new streets and sidewalks, all new underground utilities, and a new neighborhood park. The beautiful Seaplane Lagoon Ferry Terminal was completed, as were new bike and pedestrian paths, and 60 apartments for low-income seniors at Corsair Flats next to the Jet. You know what I'm talking about? 28 of these apartments are now occupied by formerly homeless veterans. What a fitting use of property at a former military base. On behalf of the entire City Council, I also want to express our deep appreciation to our hardworking city staff who make these projects happen under the leadership of City Manager Eric Levitt and Assistant City Manager Jerry Bowden, and supported by City Attorney Eben Shen and City Clerk Laura Weisiger. Thank you for running our city and delivering the projects, programs, and services that make Alameda one of the most attractive places to live, work, and play in the Bay Area. And special thanks to Assistant City Manager Jerry Bowden and Public Information Officer Sarah Henry for your able assistance with this presentation tonight. Well, and before tonight. Looking to the year ahead, there are many opportunities to continue the progress we've made. Some highlights include the 2-year budget, which will set our spending priorities, updates to the city's general plan and housing element, grant applications, which, if successful, will enable completion of another section of the Gene Sweeney Open Space Park, and moving forward with plans for a bicycle pedestrian bridge across the estuary in West Alameda. All of our efforts are enhanced by community input and especially the valuable contributions made by the city's boards and commissions. Thank you to all of our board and commission members for contributing your time and talent to serve your city. And speaking of boards and commissions, the city's Sunshine Ordinance requires me to share, as part of the State of the City, the transparency and open government complaints that were filed in the last year. A total of 4 Sunshine Ordinance complaints were filed in 2020, 3 of which were withdrawn, and the remaining complaint will be heard at the April 5th, 2021 Open Government Commission meeting. By any measure, 2020 was a challenging year, but Alamedans rose to the occasion. Every day, I am inspired by your resilience, compassion, and community spirit. I am hopeful for our future. Additional financial assistance from state and federal programs will soon reach individuals and businesses impacted by COVID-19, and 3 different vaccines are now available. And these vaccines, combined with your personal behavior, wearing a mask or 2 when you leave home, maintaining 6 feet of social distance, washing your hands frequently, getting your vaccine when your turn comes up, will help control the spread of COVID-19 and help us return to a more normal life. I look forward to our children returning to school, our restaurants and businesses reopening, and seeing all of you again in person at community events. Take care and stay safe, Alameda. Thank you for being such a great community. Thanks, everyone.